Hello folks, I'm Preston Gill of Omni Productions. My partner Vince Perry and I are glad to bring you The Community. You know, a few weeks ago we brought you highlights in our pilot episode of The Community of the Zachary Arts and Music Festival. Matter of fact, you can still watch that 60-minute production on our website, omniproductionsla.com. Again, omniproductionsla.com. Now we're ready to bring you weekly episodes of The Community. If you are a businessman or the manager of a business, owner of a business, and you believe in a project like this, a project that covers local issues, local events, local people, and you want to help support the community, please call us and let us know that you'd like to advertise on this show or become one of our sponsors. But what is the show going to be about? Well, we've partnered with several area people and businesses to bring you several informative and entertaining segments. For instance, we have Parish Profiles with Metro Councilman Trae Welch. He'll also be providing some legal advice for you. We have Selling with Suzi Gotro of Keller Williams Realty. We have Lane Regional Medical Center hosting a feature on medical issues. And of course, we'll also have issues that are public safety type issues that are hosted by the Zachary Police and Zachary Fire Departments. All of these are segments brought each week that I think you're really going to enjoy. Before we get into the show this week, let's take a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back, folks. You know, before we went to the break, we talked about some of the things that we'll be discussing each week on the community. Obviously, when you talk about Zachary, you've got to think about the Zachary school system. #1 in the state 7 years in a row, and when the scores get compiled for this year, it'll probably be 8 years in a row. Speaking on that subject, our first week will be beginning a multi-part segment on outgoing Superintendent Warren Drake and his 10-year history with us. I think you're going to enjoy it. Let's watch and see. Superintendent, it's a real privilege to have you on our show. Thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome.
You know, I've known you for 7, 8 years, worked close with you for quite a while. You've been here in the Zachary Community School District for how long?
10 years, actually. I'm completing my 10th year in about 2 weeks, and it's been a great 10 years, the best 10 years of my life.
Yeah. You're leaving, and tell me a little bit about why you're leaving and what you'll be doing.
Well, the State Department has created these networks, which are going to be 5 networks, which are over all the districts in the state, to help implement the 2 main core areas from the State Department this year, and that is implementation of the Common Core curriculum, which is in 46 states around the nation, and also the new teacher evaluation system called Compass. And so I will work with a team of about 9 or 10 people in the State Department to help implement the new Common Core curriculum, which is what drives all of our education in the state, the curriculum, and also the new teacher evaluation system. And we'll be working with about 19 districts.
Did you foresee this being #1 school district for how many years in a row now?
Well, it's been 7 years in a row, and we had a great year of testing last year, so when the scores come out in October, I anticipate another good year there. I was actually principal at Trae High School in August of '02. We had actually had our first day meeting with principals and with all of our principals and teachers. And that night, on a Thursday, the board up here voted to hire me, and it was August of '02. And the next day, I met with my teachers for the second day and told them that this would be my last day. And the next day, on a Monday, which was a Monday, I started here. And when I walked in here for the first time, it was Connie Aslan, who's the secretary, and myself. And I said, Connie, what are we going to do? And she said, I don't know. And I said, well, neither do I. But there were a group of people in Zachary who were known as the founders of this system. And I'm probably going to miss some names, but you have to mention the mayor, John Womack, who's passed away now, and David Horton, and Jesse Spears, and Lonnie Miles, and Mr. Ari Amrine, and there were many other ones who were the founders of this, who actually did the work to get the state legislature to put it on the ballot to vote in the year 2000 to actually allow Zachary to create an independent district. Once that was done, Dr. Glenn Brady and Mr. Jerry Boudreaux both served as superintendents before actually had a school system. And Dr. Brady actually served for a year and a half. And in the summer of '02, the board, which was appointed by Governor Foster, had their first election, and the first elected board hired me in August of '02 and to create this system. So basically, I was here by myself, Connie Aslan. I had to create a system over a period of a year before we started school the next school year. So we had 1 year actually to create the system. So the first person I hired was a business manager, Gordon Robertson. So when Gordon came on, then we hired a human resource person. And once we did that, we began to hire other personnel. Donica Duggan, I think, was the next person who came on. And then we hired a technology person and a special ed person. There were 4 schools at that time, 2 elementary, a middle, and a high. Once the principals were hired, then we began to hire the teachers. And so all of the principals and myself and the personnel director interviewed every teacher who was retained in this system.
But you must have been under a lot of pressure knowing that in less than a year, you had to hire a whole system full of people, qualified people, including good teachers, that would make this system a success.
Well, it was a lot of stress because, you know, this had not been done before. It was the first school system, along with Baker about the same time, in 80 years that a school system was created in Louisiana. So there was no blueprint to go from. You just sort of, as my father, who was a World War II fighter pilot, used to say, sometimes you just fly by the seat of your pants. And that's what we did. We did what we thought was right. There were no rules and regulations, basically. We basically took the policy manual from East Baton Rouge Parish and began to look at that and tweak it to make it more for the Zachary school system. But I think we went on the premise that we were going to do the right thing. And so we hired people with character. And I think that's what we have in our system today. We have a lot of people with high character in our system, and I'm very proud of what we've built here over the last 10 years. But it wasn't done by myself. And it took a lot of really, really hard-working, good people to do what we've accomplished. The school board, for example, is phenomenal. They have just been a tremendous asset. And of course, the community itself volunteers and gives of itself. When we got ownership of the buildings on July 1st of 2003, a month before we started school, there must have been 300 community people at the middle school, painting, scraping, cleaning, and getting that school ready to go because it had been neglected for so long.
Would you say that that's one of the keys to the success of the school district, the involvement of the community?
Well, there's no doubt about it. We were the first school system in the state to be called a community school system. And so when you put Zachary community, there's a buy-in, there's an ownership. Whenever you have something that has a buy-in and an ownership in it, then people will do everything they can to make it successful. And there's never been a time when we would not be able to ask someone in this community for help or for volunteers. It is amazing what this community has achieved, and so I consider them a great part of this success because they are. They own this system. This is their system. I'm only here for a short period of time. 10 years, it's not necessarily short, but I'm here. My tenure is going to be up here in about a month, and I will move on to a different area, helping the state over more districts. But they will hire a great superintendent. I believe we've built this system to be sustainable. We have great teachers in place, great school leaders, and they will hire a great superintendent to come in here and keep the success of this district going. That's very much a goal of mine, to have it continue to do very well.
If I can stop you there, Superintendent, we want to talk to Gordon before we leave. And on our next program, we want to talk to you about some of the things that have happened in the last 10 years, what it took to be the #1 school district, what it has taken to continue to be the #1 school district. And we want to talk about what's going on this summer, about some programs and construction and things going on. Can we talk to you some more about that for our next program?
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Please be sure to join us next week for our next episode of this installment. We'll be visiting with the finance manager, Gordon Robinson. Now what we'd like to do is introduce you to our first episode of Selling with Suzi on real estate issues.
In this week's segment of Suzi Sells Homes, we'll be discussing first impressions. You don't get a second chance to make a first impression. I know your mama told you that. Adding cost-effective amenities and improving the general cleanliness and condition of your home is called staging. To make the most out of each showing, follow these tips. Size up the competition. Are you familiar with other homes in the area that buyers may be previewing? Be sure the condition of your home is in the game. Add simple curb appeal by keeping your lawn mowed and landscaping trimmed. You can also power wash the driveway, walkways, garage doors, and the exterior of your home. Declutter and unpersonalize. This allows buyers to envision their lives in this home. Pack up accessories and personal mementos that aren't being used on a daily basis. Clearly defined spaces. Be sure buyers can see what uses each space is intended for. Remove large furniture from small areas to maximize the flow. Buyers are attracted to clean, bright, and neutral spaces. Be sure your kitchen and bathrooms are very clean. Open window coverings to let in natural light, and change your wall color to a tasteful neutral shade. Follow these tips and try to look at your house through a buyer's eyes as though you've never seen it before. Any time and money invested will bring you a greater return and a quicker sale. I'm Suzi Gautreaux with Keller Williams Realty, and at this time I'd like to preview a few of my many listings with you.
Searching for a bank you can depend on? Look no further than the Bank of Zachary. We're more than just checking and savings accounts. We put reliability and convenience in the palm of your hand with simple and secure online, mobile, and telephone banking 24 hours a day. We offer competitive rates on any and all loans you may need, personal or business, plus a long history of strong relationships, personal service, and financial security. That means your best option is the Bank of Zachary.
This is Annie, born at 2:48 a.m., Lane Regional Medical Center. Our first baby. I was so excited and nervous, but everything and everyone around me was perfect, including Annie. 10 perfect fingers and 10 perfect toes. My doctor said, "You're gonna love Lane." What he didn't say was how much they would love us back. Baby Lane, where the road of life begins.
Welcome back to the show. Again, this is Preston Gill of Omni Productions with the community. Again, I encourage you to go to our website, omniproductionsla.com, so you can watch previous episodes of the community and future episodes as well, omniproductionsla.com. The last Friday of June, Baker hosts a prayer breakfast. Baker Police Chief Mike Knaps welcomed our very own Zachary Police Chief David McDavid to the event, as well as the people of Zachary there to the prayer breakfast.
It's a great opportunity for the two cities to come together and share a good time and get off to a new start for our new fiscal year. Chief, thanks for being here today.
Chief, thank you for inviting me at this time of fellowship, and just want to let you know that, you know, our city is your city, and we'll work together and work hard to fight crime and make things happen here.
The Baker Rotary served breakfast. Judge Guidry spoke about the value of this event.
It's a wonderful event for the community. It's exactly what we need so that the community can come together to solve our problems.
There were plenty of Baker officials there, as well as a few from Zachary. The prayer breakfast opened with the national anthem. Baker Mayor Harold Rita welcomed everyone to the breakfast, followed by a spiritual sing along the theme, God is good. This was followed by a brief prayer.
He's not good just once in a while, he's good all the time.
Give us the grace and the strength to recognize all of our citizens. From the moment of conception to the moment of death, let us recognize their dignity and their integrity.
Roxanne Welch gave a warm introduction to her husband, the featured speaker, Duke Welch. She talked about growing up in Baker. She talked about her family and friends in Baker, including our own Trae Welch. And as she introduced her husband, Duke Welch, he came to the podium and talked for a little while about his experience growing up in Baker.
This was like coming home. I was born in Baton Rouge, grew up here in Baker, and this is home. I went to high school here, and I married my high school sweetheart from here, so I love it. I love Baker.
Cameras from the community were there for comment about the significance of both the event and prayer.
Baker and Zachary, really special places, and the citizens in this prayer breakfast meetings like this have to fight to keep their city clean and pure like these cities have the history of being.
We're also appreciative of the City of Zachary officials for being here. It's always a pleasure working with them, and we always want to work close with the city. It's always our goal to work with our sister cities, and we thank the officials for being a part of this.
As a mayor, I realize that I don't know everything, and I have to pray and ask God for wisdom and guidance. And this is a great event to bring the community together.
Zachary Councilman Francis Nazania spoke after the event to our cameras.
We want to take this opportunity to thank the mayor and the city councils for Baker for inviting us here. It is a way of us thanking God for all the many blessings He has bestowed on us and our cities. And also to work with our sister city here in Baker.
We were also able to speak with Mayor President Kip Holden, who invited Zachary residents out to an informational meeting Tuesday night.
People in Zachary, we invite you to come out, and we want to hear from you in regards to the road programs, in regards to the sewer programs, so we can get that input, put it into our system.
A weekly segment of our show will be public safety, hosted by the Zachary Police and Zachary Fire Departments. This week's segment will be from the Zachary Fire Department, where we were invited out to one of their training sessions.
You know, the term heroes is used quite loosely these days, but I think one of the places that it is appropriate is when we talk about our firefighters and first responders. The work that they do is truly heroic at times, even sacrificing or risking their lives and their safety. And we have visiting with us today Deputy Chief Armand from the Zachary Fire Department. Thank you very much for visiting with us, Chief.
Yes, sir.
In May, y'all were going through your annual training program called RICS. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, sir. About 2.5 years ago, we initiated, along with the rest of the departments in the parish, a rapid intervention crew. The rapid intervention crew is dispatched on any working fire anywhere in the parish, made up of volunteer and full-time paid departments. It's made to where other departments will respond to our working fires and assist us in case of a downed firefighter. The rapid intervention crew will respond to the scene. Once they're at the scene, they will do what we call a 360 lap around the structure, looking for any additional hazards,
the different exits that are present at the structure to assist them in removing a downed firefighter. New people that come in, and when we started 2.5 years ago, we went through a 16-hour program, which we broke into 2 days. It was a full rapid intervention class where we went through many different scenarios to test us in the removal of a downed firefighter. Every year, we go back through a refresher where we do a couple of different scenarios that we might need refreshing on. And once that class is done, we're set for the year.
So the refresher course, it has a classroom component as well as a practical component outside?
Yes, sir. We will go back through a portion of the original classroom. We'll also take a quiz to make sure that we're up on our knowledge of the way we do the program. And then we will go outside and we will perform a couple drills.
I understand that the ones that you're practicing right now are called, well, tell me what they're called.
One that we're doing today is called the Denver drill. It was made up because of a downed firefighter in Denver. The department got together after the incident happened and formulated a class to where they could better remove firefighters from that situation. During that fire, a firefighter went down in a confined space between 2 walls and right up against a window. The department tried tirelessly but was unable to remove the firefighter before he died.
So tell me, what's going on right now?
The prop that we have built is boards put together to simulate the situation in Denver. We put a firefighter in there. He is supposedly unconscious. He has all of his equipment on. We have to enter through the window.
Now that's the window, that hole that they're coming through right now?
Yes, that hole is to simulate the window on the side of a building.
Okay, so we see them entering in through that hole right now. And how did they know that this firefighter was down?
This firefighter either put out a mayday or his personal alert device went off or started alarming.
Anytime a firefighter stays still for more than a few seconds or a minute, it'll initiate a pass alarm, and it'll send out a major alarm or a loud alarm for other firefighters that go to that alarm. They'll track that alarm sound to find the down fire.
And that tells y'all that's on scene that a firefighter's down?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now we're still at the Denver. What's happening right now?
What they're doing is the first firefighter went in, made access to the victim. He turned the victim around. He's placing him through the window now. His partner outside of the window is going to pull the firefighter through the window head first. The team will bring him down to the ground or down a ladder, depending on what story they're on, and they will turn him over to the ambulance personnel for him to be medically assessed.
Thank you, Deputy Chief. And in our next episode, let's talk about that other drill that you've got, okay?
Yes, sir, the Pittsburgh drill.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right.
Our next segment of the show will be the first episode of our weekly feature of Parish Profiles with Metro Councilman Trae Welch.
Councilman Trae Welch, thank you so much for being here. We're so glad to have you. Welcome to the community. Tell us about your years in service.
Well, first off, I want to thank you so much for having me on here. It's been an absolute pleasure for the last 4 years being on the East Baton Rouge Parish Metro Council. Before that, I was on the Baker City Council, and even before that, I was doing planning and zoning for Baker. So it's been a lot of fun these last 4 years. And as a matter of fact, I just announced for re-election for the next 4 years.
Okay, tell me about your first year, your first term, and some of the things that you had to address.
Well, one of the first things that we had to address once I got on the parish council, one of the reasons I ran to begin with is because I knew that we needed a higher amount of collaboration between the cities and also the parish government. And one of the things that I was real proud of was the fact that we started getting monthly reports from East Baton Rouge Parish Metro, East Baton Rouge Parish DPW, and the cities of Baker and Zachary. What we did was once a month, we all met in the North Lot. And that was one of the biggest things that we did, and it was great.
So you've been real busy throughout the first term. You mentioned Baker and Zachary, so does that encompass your district?
Absolutely. Basically, I have the entire northern part of this entire parish. Mine's the largest landmass. It has the same amount of people in it, but it basically starts from about halfway through the city of Baker and goes all the way to the parish line on the north, and it goes from the Amite River on the east to the Mississippi River on the west. It encompasses all of the city of Zachary, and it also has portions of the northern portions of Central and the northern portions of Baker and all the unincorporated areas of Pride and Cheneyville and the historic Port Hudson area.
It's a pretty large district, isn't it?
Absolutely. We're having to address everything from roads to drainage. Those are very important in my district.
So tell me, how can your constituents get in contact with you if they have any issues or any concerns?
Well, they've got several ways to get in contact with us. One of the things that we try to do is be accessible. You can contact me by telephone on 389-5170. We also have an email address. It's twelch@brgov.com. And then also we have our monthly meeting. Generally it's held on the first Tuesday of every month at 6:30 in different areas around the parish. The July meeting is going to actually be held on the second Tuesday because we're going to have Mayor Kip Holden come and talk to us about the sanitary sewer upgrade and also the Green Light program, which is our road program in the parish. And he'll be at the library in Zachary at 6:30 on July 10th.
Thank you so much for being with us today, Councilman. On the next segment, we're going to continue talking about these ongoing issues.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, and I appreciate it. I look forward to coming and talking about it because there's so much good going on in this area.
Thank you, Trae. We appreciate that. We look forward to having you each week on Parish Profiles, keeping us informed of what's going on the Parish Metro Council. Now, to conclude our first episode of The Community, we'll go out to the Trae Lakes, home of Bennett Ski School, and this is where Zachary Chamber of Commerce hosted its annual Crawfish Boil for its members.
Today we're having our Zachary Chamber of Commerce Crawfish Boil, an annual banquet. This is our time to give back to the members and to thank these guys for helping out the Chamber for the rest of the year. We are proud to be able to have people come out. We have about 150, 160 people here today, and we'll have good fellowship, and we'll have an opportunity for our members to meet other members and to get to know each other.
Greg, it's a wonderful pleasure once again this year to be able to have the Chamber out for our Crawfish Boil, and we always look forward to it. It's one of the highlights of the year.
Well, Jay, we thank you. We appreciate you. We don't take you for granted. Every year you lay out the red carpet for us, and we really thank you. Got a good turnout and looking for a good event. Thanks again for having us.
It's a small thing that we can do as business people in Zachary.
We appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, folks, for joining us for our first edition of The Community. And we hope that you didn't miss any of the show, but if you did, you can catch it on our website, omniproductionsla.com. If you're a business person, remember, give us a call. Let us know that you support us and want to be a sponsor or advertise on our show. We need you. If you are a viewer, we need you too. So be back again next week on The Community on Saturday afternoons here on WBTR. We'll look forward to seeing you then. Bye, folks.